Cool, man. Hey, it's been a little while, dude. It's really good to talk to you again. Hey.
Great to talk to you, man.
Well, of course, I mean, first things first, I just want to say that I'm glad you're okay and you're still with us, brother. That's for sure. I mean, you,
Thank you.
you know, you're such a positive force in this world, not only musically, but, just you as a person, man. So I'm glad you're still here.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you. There's been a lot of outpouring of love. And for those who don't know, in late 2021, I caught COVID and, almost died. So, yeah. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Oh, mate, of course, of course. And
Yeah.
the new Devildriver album, Dealing with Demons, Volume 2, is out on May 12th, which also happens to be your birthday. What a way to celebrate.
Yeah, when they sent us that date, I was like, you messing with me? It's like, no, man, and I said, you do know it's my birthday. Like, oh, no, we didn't know. So, yeah. And I've had great luck over the years, man, releasing records in May. Definitely had good luck. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And this record's been sitting in the can for like 2 years. It's Dealing with Demons 1 and Dealing with Demons 2. They're supposed to come out back to back, year after year. And of course, that didn't happen. So I'm excited. The record's been getting high marks. It's been pretty incredible, the interviews I've been doing and hearing, as an artist, right, when you release, you really don't know what's going to happen. And it's been really cool to kind of hear what everybody's saying about the record. I feel pretty blessed.
It's so good, dude. It is
Thank you.
so good. Like, man, sometimes when a band, they release a sequel album, it's either a bunch of leftovers or they just call it an album just because, the first one did really well. But this one feels like it's a great piece altogether, volume 1 and 2. And it's as good as the first part. Like, it just flows all the way through in such a beautiful way.
Thank you, man. Look, I mean, we overwrote for this. Most bands, when they do double records, the second record is all B-sides and leftovers. We didn't want that. We kept it short, 36, 38 minutes. Prospectively, they're supposed to be listened to together. That's why. Volume 1, Volume 2. So, yeah, it's been really cool to hear the feedback. We worked extremely hard on these records. And then, of course, any kind of art, when you have it sitting on ice for a year and a half, 2 years, right? It's just like, oh, come on, can we get this out? So I said it in the beginning of Volume 1. I really love Volume 2. I love Volume 1, but Volume 2, there's something about it definitely that's a little more visceral, a little more volatile, exploring different tones, exploring different things that we're doing musically as well as lyrically. And just it's been cool to hear the feedback.
Did you go back in and change anything given your experiences over the last?
I did. I went back and resequenced this thing 3 times.
Oh.
So in about 16 records in my career over, almost 30 years, whatever it is, I have not done that ever. And the guy who mastered the record was like just hating me. I mean, finally, the 3rd time when I called him back, I said, I have no pity. I wanted to open the record. He goes, you're kidding. Another change. I said, no, I'm not kidding. And this is my final one. So, the sequencing changed a bit over time as I had time to be at home and listen to the record more. And I knew I had time, so we did it.
And it's important, man, that sequencing. And you got to be happy with it because you didn't want to put it out and go, oh, man, I should have done this, eh?
I don't want to put out anything and say, I wish I would have done this or that.
Exactly.
Man. I mean, it's art. It's going to live past me. Hopefully I leave a scar on this planet. And hopefully this is one of the records that leaves that scar and that memory. But I don't ever really want to do anything half-assed. I actually have 110% tattooed on my left knuckles. So that kind of gives you a little bit of like a glimpse of like who I am, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're a go hard or go home kind of dude. You've always been that way.
I have been my whole life. And sometimes it's gotten me into trouble. Other times it's had me persevere.
Yeah.
So
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different themes running through the 2 albums. And a big one that sort of comes across to me is dealing with, I guess, betrayal, but from different points of view and situations. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. But is that one of the personal things that you're trying to exercise here with this record? I
mean, I think, look, it doesn't matter if you work at a grocery store or you're a singer, you're going to go through those things. You're definitely going to have somebody that, you think had your back that didn't. Yeah, I've definitely been through that. Absolutely. Dealing with Demons was one of these records where I just said, I'm going to go deep with this. I'm going to talk about all the demons that we deal with. You know, if you're trying to get sober, you're dealing with a demon. If you're dealing with, you know, your wife just left you, there's reasons behind that. You're dealing with a demon. And I went pretty deep lyrically, definitely. I was in a place when I was writing that was different. That's all I got to say. As I kept getting handed the songs, I kept walking in my room and just writing, and it just kept coming out of me. And that's when I decided, look, we've got all these songs. We're going to definitely do a double record. And my guys were like, yeah, we want to do it. And then there's some things that you want to do right before you take a slow walk into the sunset, which we're all going to eventually do. And one of them was a double record. So now was the time to do it.
And you know, you've always seemed talking about the themes of the record. You've always seemed like a bit of a spiritual dude to me, in a lot of ways. No, I don't mean like in a religious way, but
yeah.
You know, say for instance, the song "Mantra" has the line, "What we do with our time comes circling back." That's been cooking my brain because of my own experiences of late. I've been really hyper focused on that line, and I don't know. Maybe for different reasons, you know, maybe I'm overanalyzing, but do you think
my phone charger?
Yes. You know, is that in line with your beliefs that, you know, we build the karma here in this life and it comes back around?
100%. Absolutely. You knocked it on the head. I mean, I'm a very spiritual guy, to be honest with you. And I don't mean organized religion spiritual.
No.
And I do believe in karma. And I do believe what we do here comes circling back 100%. Mm-hmm. You know, I believe in carrying love in your heart and doing charity works and helping people out as much as you possibly can on this planet. 100%. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a warrior. If you come at me, you come at my family, you come to mess with me or my means. I have a very sharp knife and a sword behind that. So I think you have to carry this yin yang in this world. Unfortunately, we can't all give ourselves up to just that spiritual side because we have to keep a vest around us to protect us as well. So yeah, most definitely I have a massive spiritual side. I mean, I meditate, I do yoga. I have been for years. This all happened even before I got sober off alcohol in 2016. It just, you know, I follow Sadhguru actually a lot. I tend to read a lot of his books and yeah, I mean, but then again, this also comes from my love of history. So I can take you through Sumerian culture and Babylonian culture and, you know, and where religion came from and, you know, how Noah wasn't the only one who had a flood. There's Gilgamesh. I mean, I could go on for days. And I think that's a passion of mine, history, religion, when it comes to spirituality and going into different cultures and how they deal with it as well. I think it's very interesting, you know?
Me too. I fell down the rabbit hole the last couple of years, man. Reality hit me real hard. So that's why that line got me so good. But
yeah,
have you thought about, in saying that, have you thought about maybe doing your own podcast? Going deep in the rabbit hole? Because I think that'd be interesting.
I'm just going to plug my phone in here so I don't lose you. You know, I actually I did one podcast for Bloodstock.
Yes.
And actually, you know, that was supposed to be a thing that I was supposed to do. And my first one was with Rob Halford from Priest, and I love him. He's a great guy.
Oh man!
And it was fun. I did it from in here in my we call this the tiki room, and I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt, which I love. And on Fridays, that's what's happening here. You know, somebody's trying to call me right now. Hold on a second.
That's all right.
Did I lose you? There you go. There you go.
Oh, I'm back here. It went.
Yeah. We're back. And so, yeah. You know,
man. Yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to see it. And of course, I mean, you recently wrapped the tour with Cradle of Filth. That looked incredible, dude.
That was fun. That was a good time. I mean, that was my first tour back in 3 years. We kept it on the West Coast. We kept it slow. You know, where we were going, that is, you know, I wanted to kind of stay close to home, and it was a co-headline run. That thing was amazing. I mean, I think there was only a few shows that weren't sold out. We, of course, managed Cradle of Filth. I love Danny. He's a great guy.
He's a funny
you can
dude.
see photos of me like in the early 90s wearing a Cradle of Filth hoodie all the time. That was fantastic. And then to come back after 3 years and have the shows that we had and kind of work through those health problems that I went through in 2022, that was very difficult. So I had to really work hard for about 14 months to be able to get on stage and do what I do, how I do it. And I was very pleased after that. Oddly enough, when we got home, I felt ill. My wife and I both tested positive for COVID, as well as other people on the tour. Luckily, the second time around, it didn't go after my heart as it did before. It was just a 17-day, you're going to sleep all day. That's all there is to it, you know? So I got lucky there, but that tour is great. We're going to announce a second leg. We're talking about coming to Australia. Woo. But I can't have oh, I know, man. But I can't have now. I can't have big altitude, long flights right now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it's a bummer. Really, I had to tear down a show overseas, which, you know, we've only torn down probably 3 shows in Devildriver's whole lifetime. So it is what it is. I got to take care of myself. I mean, it left me with severe problems. I mean, they told me I was going to have open heart surgery, and I said no. And the guy's like, you're going to die. And I said, we'll see. And I found this drink from India. Actually, it's turmeric, ginger, garlic, honey, cinnamon, apple cider vinegar, and you mix it all down. You put it all in a blender, mix it all way down in a big pot, and you drink it on an empty stomach in the morning. And sure enough, I came back 2 months later, and my heart doctor came in and was like, I don't know what you did, but you flushed your heart. Your heart looks good. You just have a little bit of inflammation in the lower part of your heart. So stay out of long flights. But whatever you did was great. So
that's incredible.
Holistically, you know, of course, I'm not a doctor. So whatever I say I did for myself.
Yes. The medical advice is Dr. Dez.
This is not medical advice. This is just what I did. This is just what I did. And it worked, thank God, you know, because I was on my deathbed. I mean, my wife was calling my friends. Oh, man. And it's actually why Cold Chamber got back together, because she called them and said, you better touch base with Dez. I don't know how many more days he may have. And I fought through it. I fought very hard. So to be, you know, to tell the listeners, like, I mean, I couldn't even walk up my stairs. I couldn't walk across the street without sitting down for like 15 minutes. I mean, I was like, this is what's going to go. This is how it's going to go. And my wife said, what's going to get you through this? I said, 2 things. I want to get on stage one more time, and I want to record one more song. And she goes, okay, let's focus on that. And so every day she got me back up, you know, got me walking, eating. I got really skinny at the time as well, got me eating, and was like, look, hey, we're almost there. We're going to get you on stage. And she kept saying every day, stage time, stage call. Oh, man. Like, to kind of get me going, like, okay. You know, and I knew damn well I could barely walk to the front door, so let alone stage. But she's like, stage call, stage time in 15 minutes, like, just to keep me, you know, working towards that. So yeah, talking to you is a blessing. Releasing this record is amazing right now. Hearing the feedback, taking a breath of air every morning, watching the sun come up, which I've been doing religiously every day now. It's been fantastic.
Oh, that's amazing, dude. And of course, you mentioned the Cold Chamber stuff coming up is massive.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, like that festival, that Sick New World. I know someone who's going to that, and he's going to put me in his suitcase. I'm just going to put my little fat ass in his suitcase and go.
So many great bands. Honored to be a part of it. We just got our slot. We're playing. Honored to be a part of it. It's going to be fantastic in Vegas, and it's a day after my birthday. I actually fly into Vegas on my birthday. It's going to be wonderful. Me and the wife, and then play that show. And you know, the Cold Chamber guys checked on me every single day for like a year. Oh. And finally, one of them said we should do a show. And I said, man, you all got your shit together. Everybody's cool. We're all friends. I'd rather just remain friends, man, you know? And they're like, no, come on, man. We all got families. We all got everything. We should get together and do one more show. And we actually only scheduled 3 this year until Mudvayne came calling and said, we want to go out in amphitheaters and do a summer tour and do it proper. And I said, you know what? I love that band. They're great guys. And Chad's always been salt of the earth, good guy with me. Yeah. So, just a situation where, here, hold on. Someone's trying to call me again. Let me off.
That's all right. It might be the. That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah. So that's going to be a good time in July and August. So I'm kind of, this year is like, my wife keeps saying one thing at a time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of how I got to do it, because I'm doing double duty. I've got a lot going on. I run a lot of businesses. I have Masonic degrees this year. I got 2 bands going. I've got a autobiography coming in between June and August. It's already done on Rare Bird Books. It's already edited and done. And that's going to be a real tell-all. I think people are going to get a chance to see where I come from as a kid. So I left home early,
Yeah.
slept under bridges, stole food, went to jail, you know, and I think people are going to really get a view of like, okay, it's a hard knock life. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm doing double duty this year, and I'm just like she says all the time, to me, one thing at a time. So here we are, we're doing interviews.
Yeah.
Boom, I'm off to Vegas, then I'm home, then I'm preparing for another tour, and just you know, can't wait really just to get by and get through to October. I'll be done October 20th. And at that point, I'm going to take, you know, the rest of October, November, December, and January completely off of next year, and then we'll see what happens.
That's exciting, man. And your wife is just, Anastasia's an absolute gem, man. I got to say, like, she's just a wonderful human being as well. So
thank you, man. She's my best friend. I don't have, you know, guy night, and you know, I'm going out with the guys, and I'm Italian. It should be, you know, Friday nights for the wives and Saturday nights is for the girlfriends, and that's not how it works here in the house. And we're best friends. She got me through this. You know, we as a family rallied behind her in 2019 when she went through her cancer stuff. Then we had the pandemic, and then she rallied around me. So, you know, we always tell each other like we're even. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I'm blessed, and if you got a good woman in your life, you're blessed. You know, I mean, that's really where it's at. Or, you know, if you're a woman, if you got a good man in your life, you're blessed. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right, man. I am. Mine keeps me in line.
Yeah, man, I'm grateful. I'm grateful every day. I'm grateful that we've got a wonderful relationship, and we got three great kids. My sons are absolutely great human beings, and I have a lot to be thankful for. I've always carried a grateful, appreciative attitude and a humble attitude, to be honest with you. But there's something to be said when you hear your wife on the phone calling your friend saying, "You better have a conversation with Dez because you know this could be it." You know, we just called the EMT again. His heart rate is racing. It's, you know, it's a trip. So I'm very grateful, and just doing interviews right now, you know, or like we were just in the car racing over here to get to you, and we were jamming some 80s tunes and shit, you know, and it's just, you know, and we were singing out loud at the top of our lungs, and like I'm grateful for every minute on this planet right now, because this is actually, humans can actually be a beautiful thing, and this planet can actually be a beautiful thing. So
yes,
that's where I'm at as a human.
I feel like I'm heading that way too. It's, you know.
So look, I look forward to coming down to Australia. I was actually on the phone last night with a good friend of mine, a good promoter, big promoter in Australia. And he says, "Look, mate, I know you can't fly." And I said, "No, I can't." And he goes, "What happens if I put you on a boat?" It's like, "What happens if I put you on a cruise? I think it's 7-8 days to Australia." It's like, "Would you want to come?" And I said, "Well, the first cruise Devildriver ever did, which was like a year or two ago, right before the pandemic, my wife was with me. We went through a massive monsoon the first night."
Oh, dude.
So no matter how much I consider myself a pirate and that I'm a ship and I'm not meant to be on land, try doing that all night long. So I said, let's look into it. So I'm trying everything I can to get over and to tour, and not just stay in the United States, but the band is ready, firing off. I mean, if you go on YouTube and watch YouTubes from the last run, firing off, and my original bass player, John Miller, is back after 12 years, and he's a beast on stage, and he wrote the predominant amount of the first 4 or 5 records. So I can only imagine like what's going to come out of us now musically. So yeah, there's a lot to be thankful for.
Have you got new stuff that you're sort of pre-planning?
We do. I'm always writing, right? That's just kind of my thing. I'm an artist. I don't sit in front of the TV and watch TV. I'm either painting, sculpting, or writing, and I've been writing my ass off lately. So I've got some good stuff. And Miller sent me a couple riffs. Mike has a bunch of riffs, so we're already starting the process now. I would think that probably, I say Q1, Q2 for people who don't know, Q1, Q2 of next year, we're probably going to go in and start to record drums for some stuff. So we'll see. I'd like to start putting out a record every 18 months. To be honest with you, you know, if I had it my way, I would put out an EP once a year, 6 songs once a year. But that model doesn't normally work for labels, and I understand why. You know, they want ownership of more than just the singles you're going to put out. But I definitely want to start releasing a lot more material. And then while I was living downstairs here in my living room and, couldn't navigate my stairs with COVID, when I could stay awake because I was sleeping like 20 hours a day for 6 months, I was writing. Like, so I would wake up and I would say, Anastasia, give me the notepad. And I would just start cranking. Or I was having weird dreams on COVID medications where I would wake up and I had this whole thing in my head and I would start writing. So I probably got about 20, 30 tracks written already. I think at least half of them are going to make it,
And what about Cold Chamber? Is that something that you want to record with those guys as well? Or is that?
I mean, I'd love to. I think when we released Rivals, like I think it was 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, when we released Rivals, we were 10 years too early. Like, new metal wasn't having this big comeback thing that it is now. And I believe, like, if we had Rivals and we were releasing Rivals right now, getting ready to go on tour, like, that record would take off. But if people don't know, we did release a record 10, 12 years ago, and I love that. For me, it was like Dark Days. Yeah, it was like Dark Days, our third record on steroids, that record. Yes. And, people may have been looking for even a more of a back down vocal from me, a more new metal back down vocal, like, where I was in the beginning of my career, but my voice is way stronger and I'm not going to not utilize it. So that's why the record is pretty heavy. So would I like to record with them? Yeah. Something we're talking about? No, not at all right now. Right now, we're just going to do some shows, take it easy, have a good time. They all have families and kids, bring the kids out, have the wives get together and have dinner. Like, let's just, let's take it easy. Let's see where we're at. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, that's a beautiful thing, eh? When people, reconnect over the years, and especially over something like that.
I mean, somebody said to me the other day, I was like, and actually, I think it was this morning on an interview, said, "Wow, Cold Chamber is a real rock and roll band." And I said, like, what do you mean? They're like, you had shirts that said sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You should have had fighting to that. And I said, yeah, you're right. Like, we were the consummate, and, but now the vibe is, like I said, we talked for a year almost every day. I mean, I woke up to a text every morning from Mike and Meigs. Every morning I woke up, there was a text, bro, are you there? And it's like, I'm here. Are you there? Yeah, I'm here, but the EMTs are at my house. Let me hit you back. Like, it was like that. I was living with an oximeter. If you don't know what that is, you put your finger in this, it tells you when your heartbeat is going up and down. And
yeah,
it was a dicey time. But those guys checking in on me, I mean, along with about 15 other of my really close, I want to say, people, even business people that I work with that were friends, but it's more business. They even were checking in on me. And I think that really got me through it as well. So would I like to write with Cold Chamber? Of course. Would I like to record? Of course. Let's take it slow. Let's do it right. Let's make sure that it's happening,
That's right. And if, man, it just sounds like it's all full steam ahead for you again, which is awesome to hear, dude. I'm so happy for you and you and your family.
Thank you, man. Thank you. There's been a crazy, look, in metal, like, it can be rough on message boards, right? Like, you ever gone to Blabbermouth and looked at a band's post? It's like, it can be really rough. But the weird thing is, it can also be extremely beautiful, this community. And I really saw it when my wife started going through her cancer surgeries and stuff. And then when people found out that I really fell ill, like, I've been seeing this outpouring of love that's just insane, even on message boards, to me personally, hitting me up on, well, I deleted my Twitter, which I don't think the record label was really happy, but I deleted that. But even on Twitter and on my Instagram and stuff. So it's really cool. It's really cool. And if it enables me to do more music or do more touring or do more for people, I do a lot of charity works as well. Like I said, I'm a Freemason as well. Yes. So, if I could do more here while I'm on this earth, more art, more charity works, more hanging out with my family, my kids and my wife, which is what I like to do. And my 6 cats, I'm good to go,
It's you still have your Doberman? What was his name?
My Doberman passed away.
Oh, dude, I'm so
sorry. Thank you for asking. Yeah, he passed away at 5.
Oh, man.
Which is very rare. Like, one day, all of a sudden, his heart blew up. Like, literally, you could see it, and that was it for him. And it was really rough on the family. We actually that year lost our Doberman and our Great Dane.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thank you. It's okay. Dogs are better than people.
Yes.
And I always say this, like, when I die, I'm going to go to dog heaven. I literally want to, like, just be walking around thousands of dogs. I think it'd be That's the best thing on earth.
Best thing.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
And
last
I'm a cat person too. I've got 6 cats. Anastasia just got a brand new Maine Coon kitten. Which, when I say kitten, he already looks like a big bobcat. He's huge.
You're right. I mean,
And so yeah, we're big animal lovers over here for sure. And we do a lot of work with the local shelters and stuff like that around here. And I think that's another thing about humanity as well. It's like when you get behind animals, like you're doing a great thing, you know, because they really can't help themselves, you know.
yeah, that's right. That's what we should be here for. Is to
That's what we should be here for.
the caretaker.
But we're not, man. There's wars. There's famine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's wars. There's famine. There's, you know, so eventually, I think this species will wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're kind of a species with amnesia.
Yes.
I think we were once something that we aren't now. And I think it's going to take a greater, I mean, you would have think that COVID made all of humanity come together, but no.
It was bad. Yeah, I know.
It's separated us all so hard. You know, what's killer is music brings everybody together. And I think even during that period of time, music brought everybody together, you know. So to just speak about it on a high note, I think, you know, music is what got me through as well. Like I was locked in here in my house for a very long time. And man, I jammed every single vinyl I had, which I got like 300. I jammed every one of those twice and found a bunch of killer new bands that I would have probably never found if I didn't have the time to sit around and just like listen to new shit, you know?
Me too. Yeah, I went down the rabbit hole too. I guess it's part of my job here, but
of course
we went and found some really cool stuff, man, especially from down here in Australia. There's a lot happening at the moment and it's exciting. But
yeah. Just getting behind art, I think, is a big deal. Like, right. I think,
you
know, if you get behind art, whether you go buy somebody's painting or pick up somebody's music. I mean, I think that brings humanity together in a great deal. You know what I mean? So
that's exactly right. And we got to keep pushing that and bringing everyone together through music, because that is what we're here for. Well, what we should be here for. So
yeah,
man,
I agree with you, man.
That's a good note there, dude. But hey, thanks again, Dez. I got to run off to the old day job and switch gears. But
take care of it. Take care of it, bro. I got stuff to do too. So
man, it's been amazing talking to you again. And let's next time you're in Australia, let's go down that rabbit hole on the ancient civilization.
Absolutely. Let's do it, man. Thank you very much for your time. And to everybody out there, thank you very much for the support over the years. And go pick up Dealing with Demons 2. It comes out May 12th. And it's a banger.
It is.
Definitely a banger.
Oh, so good. So good. But brother, much love. Take care and say hello to family for me.
All right. Take care, bro.